This world is rotten. It has to be, to allow something like that. I thought I was safe. Elves I travelled with, they were some of the best. They knew trouble were brewing. They were ready for it. Don't think even the most cynical of them would have guessed the reality of it though. None of them would have anticipated her. They came out of the trees, the Chaos Lot. Thought them just some barbarian raiders at first, but the more I looked, the weirder they were. Most of them were barely clothed, and their weapons were fused to their arms. Some were carrying whips. Now, who goes into battle with a bloody whip? Made it pretty obvious who these lot were. Slaaneshi worshippers. He's into all that, isn't he? I didn't think it would amount to much at first. These elves had discipline like you wouldn't believe. Armed to the teeth, cold as ice. And they had dragons, like actual big dragons. The Chaos Lot swarmed out the forest. Seemed pretty nonplussed by the fact that they were in a loincloth fighting a 30-foot reptile. Started as a massacre. Beasts flew over and carved them up. Then these big things came crashing towards them. Size of a giant, but half man, half woman. Obviously a demon of sorts, but dressed like some harlot at a cheap street. They towered above the dragons and just started beating them to a pulp. Didn't think there were anything that could do that to a dragon, but here we are. Their leader was also a demon. At least I think she was. Top half looked almost like an elf. Rest was straight out of a nightmare though. Too many arms, too many teeth, and not enough legs. Unnatural through and through. She plows into the mass and starts carving them up. Elves start to backpedal, get away from her, but the Chaos fellas come down. They wouldn't touch a few groups of them though. Kept them alive. Don't want to think as to why, mind you. Maybe they had other plans for him. Maybe dying would have been a kind of fate. Marauders, they swept over the first camp and made toward the next. They really could shift these lot. Not surprising, given how naked most of them were. None could keep up with her, though. She tore through the forest like a pink and purple blur. Elven archers could still hit her, though. Then again, don't think those Avalon ladies are able to miss. All the arrows in the world wouldn't have saved them. The demon hit the line like a cannonball. Couldn't make out what happened next. I just saw swords and smoke and heard steel and screams. When it settled, there she was, alone, save for the dead elves. Everywhere she went, there were this fountain of blood. Disgusting. It really was, but I couldn't take my eyes off her. She arced and dove through the elven lines, leaving gore and parts of elf in her wake. Something made me want to walk towards her, see her clearer, closer. If she hadn't slithered back into the forest, I probably would have, you know. Not exactly known for my willpower or powers of resistance. It went towards the final camp, where all the elite elven lot were housed. Asked me a week ago, and I wouldn't have reckoned anything on this continent would have faced those lads. Must have spent a century learning to use a blade, and several times that mastering it. She made them look like recruits. They couldn't keep up her speed, her ferocity. Reckon they could have parried a crossbow bolt out of the air. Weren't quick enough for her, though. As the rest caught up, the carnage got worse. They had these chariots hitting the back line. God knows what was pulling them. Wheels tearing and crunching their way through the elves. Sickening. They were also fast. Hurts my head to think of it. These elves, some of them must be as old as the Empire. Thousands of years, but all that life gone in a blink. War horns came off in the distance. Slaaneshi worshippers were all over the place, chasing down the elves. Taking great pleasure in it too. If these horns were some of our lads, or dwarves, or hells, even more elves could have managed it. They'd catch the Chaos worshippers unaware and smash them back to the wastes. But of course, it weren't any of those things. Because when does any good ever bloody happen in this rotten world? It were more demons. Didn't seem interested in the elves though. Some words were exchanged and none of them sounded pleasant. Couldn't make much out apart from the very end. Big demon bellowed it. Blood for the blood god turned my insides to ice. Then the two armies came to blows. I wasn't expecting that, you know. Always thought chaos was just one big evil thing. Nah, they hated each other. Fought with more ferocity than they did against the elves. She was always in the thick of it. Always a blur, always killing. The Khorne Law had some real horrors with them. These machines towered above the rank and file. Well, half machine. Had a demon on top, but his skin was stretched over like there was something else inside. Flesh fused with black iron. I thought the Chaos Lot were barbarians. How in the hells they made something like this, I don't know. The Slaaneshi Lot had a few wizards with them. Kept summoning these demons and whips and these giant bloody sky mirrors. They caused some real damage. To most things, anyway. The challengers had two real big demons. One with wings, sword must have been 20 foot long. He smashed down in the thick of things and cut through everything. Whenever he roared, his lot whipped up in a frenzy. The other didn't look as smart. This writhing mass of muscle and teeth. 3 snakes-like tongues, and I figured, okay, that's the worst thing in the world. But then it rears up. It's got this steel embedded in its chest like an axe, and claws sticking out of its belly. Who designs these bloody things? Thought chaos were all one and the same, but seeing that beast flailing around, rending and tearing through anything in its path, next to one of them big purple giants, dancing across the battlefield. They're nothing alike. Khorne, Slaaneshi, I mean, yeah, they're both bastards, but they're opposites. Makes sense why they want to fight, I guess. The battle was messy, a slaughter on both sides. Their god wanted blood. Well, he got it. The big red brute toppled, and then the snake demon cut down the flying one. There was this burst of light, and then he were gone. Only that sword lying there as if to prove he weren't just some nightmare. There was a frenzy after that. The big demon's followers started to scarper, but they were cut down. There was no mercy shown, but none was expected, I suppose. There's no winners here, I guess. Few less demons in the world. Few less marauders and chaos worshippers. Not a fair trade for all the elves lying there, though, dead in that forest. I really thought I'd be safe with them. I mean, they had dragons. Guess I'm on my own now. I'll find my way back to the Empire. All I can hope for is a peaceful journey for once. Though, if these chaos slots stop fighting against each other and work together, I doubt there'll be an Empire to come back to. Nothing we have could stand against that. Against her. No. I doubt that'll ever happen. We'll be fine. And that was the first-hand account of a clash between Dechala, some elves, and some followers of Khorne. If you are hearing this now, it means you watched the whole thing. Good job, you. My name's Willis, and this channel is me exploring how I can turn some of my favourite games into stories. The premise of this series is simple. What if every battle in Total War came with some peasant hiding behind a tree who saw the whole thing? In case you're wondering, his name is Barnabus. If you've enjoyed yourself here, good news, there's more. There are some other battle videos like this, which I'll link at the end of the video, and I'll be releasing a full Dechala narrative campaign in a couple of weeks. Subscribe if you want to stay in the loop and see that. I'll leave links in the descriptions, and any factions and lords you want to see get the old story treatment, give me a shout in the comments and I will add them to my list. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you another day for another story.